Tourism Board. We have an agenda.
Motion to
Okay.
approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any more discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Minutes. We got the minutes from the special called meeting.
From last
Sure.
week, yeah.
From last week? Just last week? Okay.
I have a couple of changes, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Chairman. I am offended that my name is misspelled twice in here.
Oh, no.
Put
Well-
an A in there.
Kelly was out of
Oh,
town,
At the
so.
top it's
So
spelled
you're-
right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's it wrong?
They're at the bottom.
We
I am
will,
just kidding about that.
we will get that changed, sir. Sorry about that.
That is that's a country singer, isn't it?
Well, everybody
Well,
wants to
actually,
address
his
him
is
as
spelled
Mr.
the same way,
Isabel.
too.
I mean,
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I don't
So,
know where they get
got
that.
that.
Yeah, there's two spots.
She got it
So
right
with those two
twice.
minor changes, I make a
She was
motion to
50-50.
approve the minutes.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, so, let's move on. We have let's see, what should we go with first here? It says Center for Nonprofit Management, so Jean, you wanna
Yes.
tell us about your experience with what you've done?
So I did reach out to, totally bring that on the name, the lady that you gave me her number, she's the
Mhm.
CEO of.
Ellie Benson, Terry
Her.
Hughes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did reach out to her, she referred me to Elle, who is the one that responded and I had a phone conversation with about what they can offer us. I sent all this over to you guys, she kind of has a proposal and a process and a timeline. But the thing that I wanted to point out is the cost of $14,750 would be for all of the analysis, recruiting, screening, presentation, interviews, references, and assessments offered. And then the add-ons, of which one I think would be money well spent, is staff listening sessions to build morale and communicate search updates. Because she'll have a conference with each one of our staff members and kind of tell them where we are, what we're doing, ask them questions. Hey, what was working in the past? What would you like to see in a new director? Things like that. And since they're in the trenches, I felt like, one, it would give them the opportunity to feel important in this process, as well as possibly feed us information we would need to be looking for in a new director. So that's one add-on that I would suggest we do at $300. And then the only other thing that was in there, my eyeball's not going straight to it right now. There are some additional costs depending on if we were to bring a candidate in from out of town, would we want to pay for his travel expenses, his or her travel expenses to get them into town for that in-person interview.
And it's gonna happen no matter how we do the process.
Have the,
If we did it ourselves, we'd have that cost.
that's correct, that's correct.
You mean the travel?
Travel, yeah.
Yeah, so we may find someone in town that not be an issue, which means I don't think we really have to vote on it. We need it in our mind right now, that it could be a possibility we'd have to discuss later. If the right person is coming from California, wherever that is, would we want to pay their travel expenses to get them in for an in-person interview? So yeah, that $14,750 plus the $300 is what I would suggest that we look into doing. And a couple of other things in the conversation I found important that we should probably discuss is, she did say that we should pick 2 or 3 people to be on the committee to work directly with her. And once we narrow it down, the entire committee come back in for, to present who we think would be the best one and you know, whether or not do the interviews or whatever that would be. So those were the main things I got out of the conversation.
Yeah, I think probably narrowing the people that work directly with her would be a good idea. And then, you know, obviously, those people would need to report to the full committee, and I think that needs to be as frequently as possible. The one other thing that I noticed in there is writing up the job description. So our HR director was out of town, and when I read this proposal, I kind of pulled back. I sent the job description out, but I pulled back on trying to, you know, research and rewrite and all that stuff. I thought, well, if we're gonna pay them this much money,
Right,
let's
it's
let
part
them
of it.
write it. Yeah, now, and then the other component was the Douglas Clark House. And I believe I sent out the email on that, we're obligated 20 years to maintain an employee there, and that's under the direction of the tourism office. So just to make sure.
Been
that
open
everybody-
for
They're-
7.5 years, so.
Yeah.
So we're only obligated the other,
13.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not 20 more, it's
It's a total of 20.
a total of 20.
Right, yeah.
With Spirit and leaving Nashville, it would not surprise me if a couple people from his organization were to apply, because
That'd be great.
they,
That was one thing I wondered is, rather than us do this like right away, maybe could we do something locally just for 2 weeks at no cost? Like in Indeed and I know you get accountants and people that didn't mean to apply for the job, because we did that with the county the law director. We had a guy who didn't even have a license to practice in Tennessee. He was from Kentucky and he was a lawyer, but he had owned like a rest stop or a convenience store or something. Like, it was very interesting. But then when Jeremy called me, he's like, oh, I can't even practice in Tennessee. I was like, why did you apply for that?
Never mind.
My
See.
personal opinion is that is indeed an option. But
Mhm.
for a position as important as this, do we want to limit ourselves to the possibility of someone who might have some skills versus opening ourselves up for the potential of someone that is highly qualified and highly skilled in tourism already?
I just don't think for free it hurts to
Well, I
look.
kind of, yeah, I think.
That's it, and because we live 20 miles from the Music City.
Yeah.
And how many universities, and how many entertainment firms, and how many venues, and there might be some really great local somebody. Oh, and again, we wouldn't have to pay for them to travel.
There you go.
I think that's
But that's-
a pretty good idea. I would
So
definitely
are
want
you
to
gonna
explore
head up
that.
that and be responsible for getting it on Indeed and going through all the applications and deciding who
So the staff at the tourism board can't do that?
Personally, I think there should be separation. I don't think that our outgoing director should be choosing one new director.
Not choosing it, but putting the job description up.
I will do whatever this board sees fit.
If we went that route, we need a defined time period, and we need to be very specific so we avoid. the
Right, I
things-
was thinking like 2 weeks,
Uh,
because 2 weeks is not terribly detrimental. And then if we had like nobody apply. We had less than 10 people apply for the county law director. But we'll need the only thing is you'll have to have an income window.
Yeah, you'll wanna put an income window, and you wanna be very specific on the qualifications
Mhm.
to narrow who applies. So it's, I'm not opposed. I think to be quite honest, I think it prolongs the inevitable, but 2 weeks is 2 weeks. If the board wants to do that for 2 weeks, we can get that put together,
see what we get.
send it out there, and let's see what we get.
Make a motion to go that route.
And
I
yes,
think
Barry,
that's-
I will help you. I'm just a house mama, so I got all kinds of time on my hands.
Adjust.
But I do want to make sure that we're very clear that we are very specific.
No,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
agree with that for
Yes,
sure.
and that's
Absolutely.
what I'm saying, like the job
Years, experience,
description,
qualifications, et
yes,
cetera.
yeah.
How many years of experience did it say when you did it?
I don't think we put anything on.
I'm
I don't
not
remember
sure.
I
seeing
don't remember
anything.
talking about that.
I don't remember seeing anything in there.
I don't either. I don't remember what it said.
I don't have them.
And I think jobs.
And I think,
And what can the
all of that
budget?
will line up with our salary range, what we're
Yeah,
willing to pay that
right,
person.
yeah.
So,
And don't some of these job search engines have, someone told me this, they actually have automated bots that actually will flag the specific, like, you're looking
Well,
for
you could-
specific experience and
yeah, like, I
salary.
don't know what
It's
the
not gonna just
salary-
spit out,
But you could call you could call Wilson, Williamson, Rutherford, Montgomery counties and see what they pay. What we will not call Sevierville.
Why not?
Cause I'm sure that.
Oh, I'm sure that pays
Do you
a
know?
lot.
Yes,
Oh,
just,
Sevier County.
yes.
You know, I'm not an expert
Uh-huh.
with the Indeed thing. I mean, I'm sure I could maneuver through there, but I don't know all the bells and whistles, so
I've
just to
done
put
it.
that out there.
I've done it many times when we were hiring for the Community Child Care Center, Nursenville nonprofit, and it's more than just throwing an ad out there and getting a couple. And I'm with Mayor Isbell. There's no harm in 2 more weeks. And you do need to set a budget because it can cost you $1,000 before you know it, based on how many ads you run.
Hey, we've started, this is Angela, she wanted to listen in.
Oh, okay.
But it's more worth anything. That's why I said.
Oh,
are you
well, I
gonna do
didn't
it?
know, that's why I was asking. I mean, I don't know, I was just asking.
I've done it, and
I am no tech genius.
Yeah, I don't want to be odd man out that says, that's not a good idea, but I think it is prolonging the inevitable. You know, if we found the right person, you gotta look at the facts. It could potentially save you $14,000, but you do need to set a budget because it can quickly add up, on, you know, on what that cost. On Indeed, they charge you based on how many clicks, or if someone sees your ad, whether they apply or not. I can't really tell you the dynamics of how they
I've never
charge.
used it, I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, I haven't either.
I've used it, and it's,
Yeah, we have an account with Indeed, I believe, through HR that we advertise, so I can certainly get that information for everybody. Talk to Cheryl,
So
and we can probably have Cheryl post it. I mean,
that was gonna be my question. Since this is for a county tourism position, would it go through, could it go through HR and go through that way, at least at this point in time?
that's, sure.
And if you wanted to, maybe I shouldn't say this, if you wanted to pay for it through tourism, since tourism is a 501c6 and not a county department, we could work with
We
them.
can work that out.
Work that out.
I'll talk with David on how the mechanics of that would work.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I would be far more comfortable with that because you have someone skilled in county HR doing that and kind of screening through.
Oh, I agree.
would feel much more comfortable with that. I personally don't have the kind of time that I know should be invested in posting it and following up. If you get emails, it's really important that you kind of respond quickly, things like that.
Well, I guess I wasn't thinking about that because the law director things just got emailed to us. The resumes were emailed to the ad hoc committee. So I don't know who else they were emailed to because I don't always check all the people on the.
And I'm laughing too, because the same thing you were talking about with the law director, when we were doing this for the child care center, and unfortunately over the past 5 years, we had to do it 2 or 3 times. But we would get people that.
I know.
Literally, like you said, worked at a gas station, had never even had, like, I need someone skilled and qualified with certifications and the ability to actually run this position.
I
I've
did
got kids,
one-
I'm qualified, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And all of my kids are still alive.
Right.
Okay, so if we're gonna do this, we probably need to set another meeting for 2 weeks
See what
and see what the
transpires.
results are. And then at that point, make a decision on Center for Nonprofit Management if we need to. I'll have Cheryl get that out tomorrow, and then we'll, I'll just update everybody with what we got.
And just to let you know, I've had 3 people call me with serious questions about applying. So there've been 3. They're all local.
Do you know them?
I do. I know all 3 of them actually.
Oh,
Can they forward us?
yeah,
their
absolutely,
Yeah, they're
yes.
interested in
Yes.
resumes and such.
Especially if y'all have a great working relationship, since
Well, I
you're
mean,
just gonna be up on.
I'm not saying they're qualified. I don't know if they are or not, but I'm saying they've inquired about the job.
I got you.
And I told them
Yeah.
that y'all were meeting on special call meetings, and we would know how they could apply soon, and I would let them know.
The easiest way maybe is just to go through Indeed. That way everything's consolidated.
Yeah, I certainly don't.
So,
I mean,
and we'll see
I view
what
it
we
as
got.
I'm here to help you, answer questions, help you anything, but I don't want to have anything to do
And
with
is there-
We
hiring
can
a
share the
replacement.
listings once once it gets there, and then, you know.
No, no.
social media's on there.
What is that? Do we have a social media thing where we can share something like the tourism?
Yeah, I'll do a
Well, I
posting.
mean,
Or we could share it on, like,
Yeah.
if you post it, if you don't
I'm,
mind us
I'm
sharing it.
really
we
not a
can do
fan
that.
of the Peter principle,
Absolutely.
but
Once I have an
if
Indeed
there's,
link
if your
that we can send them
executive
to, I'll post
were to
something on
desire
our
the
Facebook
position,
account.
I mean, I
And,
just.
and then that'll be a link that's.
I know, she's sitting over there shaking her head, but I did think about that today. I had a myriad thoughts running through my head, but that was one that did come.
Mr. Vice Chairman, I think you do have a motion and did you get a second?
Okay, I don't know that
I
we
would
had.
second
Okay,
Shan-
we had a motion and a
Commissioner
second.
Bergdorf.
Bergdorf, Shannon Bergdorf.
It's all right, Baker.
My mouth's not working,
They
sorry.
call me B.
B, okay. Made the motion.
My grandkids call me B.
B, okay.
Yeah.
Is there any more discussion that we go through,
Probably shouldn't.
Indeed and other local
I
sources?
picked it out.
So just to make sure, because
For
I
the
don't
next 2
always
weeks.
listen, that
Okay, yes.
what the motion is post on Indeed, meet back in 2 weeks,
Yes.
make a decision.
Correct.
If we have good activity or not, and what our move from there is.
Yes.
That is correct. Any other discussion?
Was there a dollar amount in that? It was mentioned, but it
Well,
was.
yes, what is our budget for Indeed?
I don't have a clue how much Indeed costs.
I was just looking, it's like,
I didn't know it cost any.
they charge you
Cost a lot.
per applicant, like,
Yep.
I think it was like $40 an applicant or something, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it-
Y'all wanna
it can
just
get
set just
really
a
high
budget
really
of
fast.
Yeah.
$1,000?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I think
No
that's
more than
good.
1,000, that
Sure.
just gives us a range.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to check real quick before we do that. In her, somewhere in her information, she gave us a budget.
Like a breakdown.
Oh, advertising additional fees, $300 to $500. And she was gonna be doing LinkedIn, and she was gonna be reaching out to people that are currently employed as tourism director to see if they had interest in making a transition. So, I guess we wouldn't wanna go more than 500.
That sounds good if it's $40 an applicant.
That's about what, 12, 13,
Yeah.
give
10,
or
if
take.
it's
10, 12,
$40, yeah.
And that was just quick lookup.
I will tell you, when I applied 11 years ago, I believe we had 40 applicants. Is that right? Around 40. It's not exactly.
Well, I mean, Mayor's saying 1,000, and I think that would give us at least 25, up to 25 applicants. If it's, I mean, does it hurt to
No.
go with his
But if we
1,000
get,
and?
but if we get none,
Well,
then we're
we
out
don't-
another $1,000.
If we have a contract with Indeed right now, it's probably less than their
Less than that?
Yeah.
rack rate.
I
It's
would
got
guess
something
that.
to do based on clicks too, or
Pricing
if
on
they,
the
if somebody
site is
that
transparent, but very convoluted.
Right.
So, but we can reject applications that don't meet the requirements before we're charged.
Okay, well, that's good.
So,
Fair enough.
yeah, I mean, the price would be what the price is.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I say set it for
Yeah,
that.
all this stuff,
And if it's
Just
just
make
2
sure we don't have
weeks
to come
and we
back.
only get
Right.
10
Yeah.
applicants, then
That's
that,
where
whatever.
540 and then can't do it.
well, 2 weeks from today would be March 2nd.
yeah.
Do we want to meet again there in a special meeting for,
What is the,
What
what
day
is
of the
the
week is
day?
that?
It's a Thursday.
it's a Thursday.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah, that works.
3:30?
Can we meet later so that Angela can maybe get here from work?
can we change the days then? We've got a CASA.
Oh, okay, that day doesn't work for you?
I just gotta be somewhere dressed fancy at 6 o'clock, so.
Oh.
Do you want it earlier?
Me,
I
I'm
can be
on
dressed in
that,
30
you
minutes.
even asked that question?
We went on a Tuesday?
Is that February 28th?
That is the 28th.
Oh, it is the 20th.
I have a 6 o'clock Zoom meeting, but
I can do.
we can, if we start at like 4, we can be back home at
We've
6
got-
o'clock, it's not an issue.
Well, planning commission's in the chambers. So
What time do they start? 4?
they start at 5 o'clock.
You might want to do
We've
it
got
different.
Chief Miller's retirement reception at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I would say 4:30 would be fine.
On the 28th you're talking about?
On the 28th, yes.
Okay.
We typically meet at 4. That doesn't mean anything. You can set it for whenever you want, but
I think 4 is fine.
It's fine with me, because I come to the planning commission meetings.
I'm wide open that day, so y'all tell the town.
We're not gonna spend more than an hour on this.
No.
So 4 PM
4
on the
PM on the
28th.
28th.
Yeah.
Is Cheryl in town, or is she still out of town?
Do we have anything on the
HR?
No, she should be in town.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw her
Okay, to
earlier
get the
today.
benefit of Indeed, how quickly can they get that posted?
If she's in her office now, I'll tell her that we need it up first thing in the morning.
That'll be
To
great.
go ahead and write it up. And may have a few questions on qualifications. So she may reach out to you to get a little guidance on that.
I will look, I think I may have another document at home that they sent me when I applied
Okay.
that may have had that information on it. I don't think, what we had the other day didn't have that, did it?
No, I don't
No,
remember
it
seeing
was just
it.
the job description.
I will look and see
And
if
if-
I can find when I applied.
Yeah,
I mean, how many years' experience did you have in the tourism industry? 10 or 15, 20?
12 to 15,
Okay.
yeah.
We want
Okay.
somebody experienced. 'Cause
I'm an old guy, so.
then,
Yeah.
We've got a very robust tourism
Right.
in Sumner County that I don't want.
We need somebody who knows what they're doing.
so 12 to 15,
I mean, that may be too
but that
much.
would be
10.
commensurate with the pay,
10
and that's
years?
the other
I'd
thing
say
we
I
have
think
to
10
have.
years is a
10
good,
years experience and-
Just
10 years is a
10
good
plus.
round number.
Yeah.
At least, a minimum 10 years.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
I've not ever, put any type of job posting out on LinkedIn. Has anybody else?
No.
Well, I was gonna
I've
say-
seen them, but
Yeah, not used to that.
My husband may have, but we don't talk
I
about
think
it.
LinkedIn's kind of
That's where maybe like
The,
professional things.
the hot thing right now, I think.
Mhm.
That's what she said. I've never done LinkedIn, so I have, I mean, I'm
I'll
on
talk-
LinkedIn and I
I'll
have
talk
a
to
business.
I'm
Cheryl
sure
about
our,
that.
I'm sure our HR person is familiar with all that.
I'll talk to Cheryl about LinkedIn.
And Mary's boy, if she does a posting on LinkedIn, if she could maybe, shoot an email or tag us, then I can go in and do whatever,
Okay.
you know, like what, share it or whatever
Right.
they do on LinkedIn.
And I was talking earlier, I'm gonna post this, once I have those links, I'm gonna post it on our Facebook account. And that'll give people an opportunity to share it. So I'll email everything out to everybody.
That'd be
Very
great.
good.
Yeah.
I like that. I know, 'cause I called David Long today because I had to, yesterday actually, I called him because I couldn't remember how the funding, the total funding mechanism for tourism, and it's all from the hotel motel tax, based on what budget, is what y'all work out with budget in, as the years come around. And, I would like, because I'm not in your office, even though I'm on the board, but I'm new,
Sure.
for y'all to decide what you think you could afford for your director. Is that fair? Because that comes, because y'all's is so different, right? You don't, the director doesn't come to the board and say, or you don't have to go to commission and beg for, can I buy more toner, or
No,
like, we don't,
right.
Well,
you manage your own
I
thing.
do go before
so-
the budget committee once a year.
Right,
and
But
but
the budget-
once you get your
Right.
pie,
once we get the
you cut
budget,
it, slice it any way you want to.
since I've been here, I've
Right.
never come back and asked for more or anything
Right,
like
so,
that, so.
so if y'all could come up with what you think,
Well,
does that make sense?
I just looked online and it said the average tourism director's salary in the state of Tennessee is 57,000 plus.
Wow.
So we can clearly afford a little bit more.
So, and we've,
I mean, we are a
we are,
medium-sized,
yeah, that's average. That may
Okay.
include
Wow.
10
I was gonna
counties of,
say, I
yeah,
cannot imagine we will get quality.
at
No,
57,000.
that's-
No,
57.
no.
No, you get a young graduate,
Bledsoe
or
County,
you'll
we
get
get, would
a
pay
retiree,
57,000.
Yeah.
which the retiree might not
Yeah.
be.
Chick-fil-A.
I know a couple of
I
years
was
ago, we
thinking
might say
that
that's
they have
crazy.
plans.
Yeah.
I
Now,
mean, that's reality.
Star- yeah,
Starbucks,
well,
Starbucks, you can
yeah.
come close to that, yeah.
I
So
was
let me-
thinking to call some similar sized local tourism boards and see if I could get any type of information on what that looks like. Just kind of beating a dead horse, though, that is something that the Center for Nonprofit Management will do for us.
Mhm.
I will tell you that every county does it differently.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
get,
It's
some pay more, some
difficult
pay
to-
less. It's hard to compare oranges and
David
apples,
Rowling.
but
Now, are they getting a full
Office can
benefits
do that.
package with that
That's what I
too,
was
or is
gonna
that
ask
just
him.
salary?
But they're not on our,
we're not on
tourism,
county
not on county
benefits.
Okay,
budget.
so that would just be up to
Where's your
y'all's
phone?
budget
I mean,
if
we
you
do
wanted to.
have health insurance
How
and
do
a
I
few things, but
contact
we don't have the
you?
county, we don't have the pension or anything like that.
668-2266.
All right. Okay. All right. Did we take a
I
vote?
think,
No, we're still
I think we got a path
Mhm.
for 2 weeks. Barry, are you gonna take care of noticing and getting all that? to
For the next
For
meeting?
the next meeting,
Yes, we will do
Okay.
that.
March, was it
Make-
February
make sure you
28th?
get
February
that to
28th at
Michael.
4 PM?
And with regards to the salary, I'm sure that the HR director has a
We can
means
get
of
a
finding that,
range.
getting that information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
For a
say we put
range.
a range in there.
I mean,
Yeah.
Butch Spirited makes, no, I can't say.
I know. Somebody said, well, what do they
150.
do in Davidson
Or more.
County? Oh, I'm sure it's
A
closer.
million?
He makes $1 million? I way lowballed him. He's been there forever.
Yeah. he's done it a
$1
long
million
time.
a year, would you let that go?
Huh?
Is he
I
quit?
would have kept working.
He's
I'd keep
quitting
working.
though, isn't he?
That kind of money.
I interviewed with him, I kid you not, in 1990, it was before I was married. I was working at law engineering and I so desperately wanted another job and I interviewed with him. So it was in 1991.
Oh, my.
So so he's been
He's
there
been there for a long time.
Yeah.
for over 30
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
He's doing something right.
No state income
Wow.
tax on
If
top
they
of
could
that,
figure
too.
out how to get, well, some of the color off the colorful characters off the streets, then he would really, maybe he can make $2 million.
But seriously, every county does do it differently.
Okay.
Yeah.
And depending on, where they are and what tourism assets they have.
But we're in the top, you know.
We're number 14 out of the 95 counties. We're the 14th largest.
As far as the
Tourism
tourism
board?
dollars.
As far as bringing in tourism dollars.
We're
Oh,
the 8th largest county.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But, we don't have Dollywood or.
how did we get to be,
Yeah, it's-
who
Weren't
outpaced us?
they, were they
We
gonna
used
try to
be
build something
7.
like that though near Opry Mills at one time?
Rutherford.
Yeah, Dollywood's gonna build this water park next to
Montgomery
across from
County,
Opry Mills.
Rutherford County.
That's
Then
now
the
apartments.
Then the rumor
Yeah.
was when she got mad at them,
Williamson.
she was gonna build it in
Then
Sumner
Ford.
County,
Wait,
but
not
in the end, she
Shelby.
decided to build the Dream More Resort in Pigeon Forge instead.
Wow. There's also the Storyville,
She almost built a water park in Sumner County.
there's also a Storyville Park that's gonna go, saying they're coming someplace in Middle Tennessee.
Lebanon, I think is where.
That's the last I heard of
Yeah.
Lebanon, Wilson County. so.
Okay, well.
All right, is there anything else we need to discuss?
Motion to adjourn?
All right,
All right.
there's been a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye,
Angela.
Angela.
I'm starting to like these short meetings.
I love short.
Of course, we're having them more often, but